Very quickly, Your Honor.
Would you like to call?
Yes, sir.
Everyone may be seated.
We're called David Richardson.
So you swear or affirm the testimony you give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
How you may ask?
Lieutenant Richardson, when we left off yesterday, we were talking about the videos that you reviewed and showed yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also do something else as relates to this case, specifically related to cell phone records?
Yes, ma'am. I reviewed the cell phone records that I obtained from the detectives.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you specifically about cell phone records for an 859-684-5161. Did you review those records?
I did.
And those records that you reviewed, are they, would those have been official ones from AT&T?
They are.
Have you, in the course of your work with the police department, reviewed cell phone records before?
I have. I started back in 2005 when I was a detective in the robbery homicide unit.
And so then, are you familiar with, I guess, what information is contained in those cell phone records? I'm showing you almost Exhibit 40. Are you familiar with what those columns represent and the information that's provided therein?
I am.
And then specifically, with respect to date of a call, whether it's placed or received,
Yes, ma'am.
and tower location, and what, I guess, side of the antenna or side of that tower a call is, I guess, taking place on.
Yes, ma'am. Which antenna the call is used.
Okay. And then with respect to that phone number, 684-5161, I'll show you a few maps. And you all have seen these before. Show you Commonwealth 53. And if you can identify that.
This is a map that I created just using the records from here to put it to more of a demonstrative exhibit instead of just being a bunch of numbers on pages. I put it to a map to show where the tower is located.
Is he over at all?
There.
Well, this is a little fuzzy, but. Okay, tell us what information you put on here.
On here, I showed where the tower is actually located, which is the actual black dot here. So that's the physical location of the tower. Then I created a demonstrative pie shape just to show not the coverage area of the actual cell phone tower, but just the general direction that that antenna is going out. So these lines that represent this pie shape, they're not set in stone. I mean, because there could be, the tower could be going at 126 degrees, or the antenna could be. And it's obviously, I don't know the distance that each tower transmits. So this is just showing a graphical representation of the general direction that the antenna is transmitting.
Okay.
And then what I did is I showed, this is all the calls on the 15th from 256 to 348. calls or texts, and I listed them in order here so that we could follow along. And then I listed the time, and then the call, who it was from, or if it was to somebody from this phone number.
Okay. So let me start, just as an example, let's start with call number 1. And you were putting in the lead, and it's really understood, and you were receiving, that's correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so call number 1 is here
Uh-huh.
at 2:56 in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and that call came from this phone number here,
That's correct.
and then that call then hit or pinged off the tower that's located here, is that correct?
That's correct.
And do you know where that tower is?
That tower's in the Cardinal Valley area, just off Village Drive, behind the shopping center there.
Right. So then when you were talking about the direction from which that antenna came,
Uh-huh.
tell us a little bit about what you mean by that.
So cell phone towers they're three-sided, and they'll have an antenna on all three sides. And so that one was pointing kind of away from Versailles Road, and it used that tower going out that way.
Okay. And so then when a call, I guess, comes in, when a call is made or received, it will ping off one side of that tower?
Correct.
Okay. And so in this particular case, it's pinging off this side of the tower?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then does that mean that in, talk about we don't know the covered area, but does that mean that call is coming, I guess, from this direction as opposed to that side?
From this side of the tower, not this side of the tower.
Okay.
And then I should note that on this one, there's a circle, a larger circle. So that one, that there was no data that was gathered that would show the actual antenna that was used. So I just marked that, hey, this is the tower that was used, because we don't have the actual antenna information. Sometimes the cell records just don't capture that data just because of the amount of data they receive.
Okay. So when there's a circle around there, that doesn't necessarily mean it's hitting off. You can't tell what side it's hitting off of.
Correct. That means that the records didn't capture that data, so therefore I can't put into a picture format of which side of the tower they're on. So I just say they're around, they're using this tower. And I don't know which side for that call.
Okay. So then several of these calls are hitting off this particular tower. It's here.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me where you said that is?
That's off Village Drive in the Cardinal Valley area, which is off Versailles Road. Used to be a Long John Silver's there, Kentucky Fried Chicken, a Pizza Hut back up in there.
Okay. And then the call number 3 is at 3:05 in the morning, and that also came from the 859-402-6229.
Yes, ma'am.
Which tower is that in?
That's a tower there at Forbes and Versailles Road, so it's kind of right behind the Marathon, the Thornton's gas station that's there. There's a cell tower there.
And then call number 4, is that hitting off the same tower?
That's hitting off the same tower, but on that one we actually got the antenna direction, so we know that it's hitting on this side of the tower.
And then call number 5 at 3:08 in the morning, the call to 859-519-9591.
Uh-huh.
All right. And which tower is that in?
That is an end of a call that's hitting off a tower that's off Ad Color, and Ad Color is at New Circle and Newtown Pike. If you're going outbound Newtown Pike, like you're heading to the interstate, just before you get to New Circle Road, there's a road called Ad Color there on the left, and that's where that tower is located.
Okay. And then you said last. Explain to me what first and last means.
So sometimes on the records, for one call, they will give us 2 different towers. They'll give us the first tower when the call began, and then they'll give us the last tower when the call ended. They could have had calls between that, but they don't give us that data. So we just mark the very first call, or the first tower when that call is connected, and then the last tower when that call is ended at the end of the call.
Okay. So you're saying that in between the first and the last, it could be hitting off different towers?
Yes, depending on the length of the call.
Okay. May or may not be.
Right.
But then the records don't necessarily reflect that.
They don't give us that information.
Okay. So at 3:08, that call began to that number hitting off this tower.
That's correct.
And then by the time the call ended, it was on this tower.
That's correct.
All right. And this is the tower that you said is at New Circle in Utah.
Yes, ma'am.
And where is this tower in relation to the Quality Inn?
The Quality Inn is located on on the other side of New Circle and Newtown, approximately 1,700 feet from the town.
Okay, and what's that mean?
It's about a third of a mile.
Do those records also capture the length of calls?
They do.
Okay, and so you could look at this call at this time on those records and determine the length of the call?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the date of this map? The date that these calls were made?
That was on June 15th of 2014.
And so this call at 3:08 in the morning, it was hitting off the Newtown Tower, was it 6:15 at 3:08?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also look at records for that same number on June the 20th and 21st?
Yes, ma'am.
Show you Commonwealth Exhibit 54. And tell us what is the date of this?
This map is for the call records on June 20th, 2014 from 11 p.m. to midnight or 2300 to 00 in military time.
For the same number ending in 516?
Yes, ma'am.
And so did you then do the same thing with respect to call number 1, 2, 3, and 4?
I did.
All right. Tell us, starting with call, this would be 1, 2, 3, and 5, what tower is this?
That's a tower in the Man o' War, well, Armstrong Mill area. It's in the neighborhood back up in that area.
Okay. And you've got all three sides represented.
Yes,
Okay, so call 1 is coming off this side,
that's correct.
and then ending on this side, where you've got first and last.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you have call 4, jumps on this side, call 4, 6, and 7.
Uh-huh.
And where is this tower located?
So that tower is in the area of Bellawood and Man o' War near the park there off Bellawood.
And then we go to 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And are they still getting off that same tower?
That's correct. That's just another antenna off Bellawood.
Then we're at 13 and 15. What tower is that?
That is New Circle at Tate's Creek.
And then up here, 16 through 19 is where?
That's the tower at the Cardinal Valley and Village Drive area.
And then 20 starts here, is on what tower?
That's a tower off New Circle Road in the Old Frankfort Pike area, off Enterprise Drive back there. There's a tower right there. It's on the outside of New Circle Road.
And then 21 and 22 drop back to that tower.
That's correct.
Commonwealth 55. And what is this map?
That's a map of the same phone number, 684-5161. Those are calls on June 21st of 2014 from midnight to 1 a.m.
And call 1 is where?
That starts at the Village Drive tower that we talked about off Versailles Road.
And call 2?
That's the Forbes and Versailles Road call.
Call 3?
That's a tower off Loudon Avenue, kind of Loudon and Russell Cave area.
Call 4?
Call 4 is downtown, off Winchester Road area, just past Midland there on the right as you're going outbound Winchester Road.
Call 5, 6, 7, and 8.
That's a tower at Main and Midland. It's just past Midland on a building there on your right.
This is Commonwealth 56. Okay. Tell us what that is.
This is the phone calls for that number, the 684-5161 on the 21st from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m.
And where is call? You indicated you recorded all voice and data, is that correct?
No, voice and text. We didn't have data records.
Okay, voice and text. Okay, so on the previous map, the last call came in, or text came in at what time?
At 12:56 a.m.
And then after that, the next call or text was at what time?
1:42 a.m.
And where is this tower here?
That tower is at Richmond Road and New Circle Road. It's on the, if you're going outbound Richmond Road, it's on your right-hand side, kind of behind the Bob Evans over there, in that general area.
And where is that in relation to the Woodville area?
Woodhill is across Richmond Road from that tower.
Okay. Call 2, getting off that same tower.
Yes, ma'am.
Call 3 and 4, starting with 3, and 4 starts again, at 156 and 158. Where is that tower?
That tower is there at Man o' War and Richmond Road. There on the corner, there's a building across the street from Hooters where there's a tower there.
And then that call at 158 began there and then ended at 158 back to this Richmond Road tower?
That's correct.
And Commonwealth 57.
This is a map of phone calls for the same phone number, 684-5161 on the 21st from 2 in the morning till 3 in the morning, or 02 to 03.
Okay. So then starting, we have 1 and 2 is this tower. Where is that tower located?
That's out in the Hamburg area, Man o' War and Man o' War and I-75. It's on the side near where the Shell station, the McDonald's, or the Outback is in that area.
Tell me again where that is.
The Hamburg area there where Outback and the Shell, Waffle House.
Okay.
Man o' War and I-75.
Okay. I wasn't questioning you. I was getting that in my head. All right. Kind of Winchester Road area.
No, it'd be down the interstate from Winchester Road, down more toward the other side of Hamburg.
I know what you're talking about. Okay. I got you. Chick-fil-A area.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
There you go. See, that's something I know. All right. So 1 and 2 and 3 are hitting off that tower there.
That's correct.
Okay. And then 4, we're over here. What tower is that?
That's a tower that runs off Colombo and Man o' War. It's from Man o' War. If you were going inbound, it's on the right,
Okay. Dairy Queen down at the other end.
the very far end of that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then 5, the library being the public library, Man o' War and Colombo.
I'm not
See, I
sure
think
where
it's
that-
something you
I
got.
know.
Okay.
Southern States is near there.
Okay. We do not run in the same
No,
circle.
we don't.
Okay, so, okay, so Man o' War, Colombo, that area that's there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then 5,
That's the tower back at Richmond Road and Man o' War that we talked about earlier, right at that point there.
okay, northern Man o' War. And then 6, we're up here.
6 is the Winchester Road tower between Midland and Liberty Road.
And 7,
Is that tower that we talked about at Midland in Maine there?
8, same tower?
No, that's actually a different tower right on, yeah, same tower, yes.
Okay. And then, okay, 9 is down here.
9 is a tower off Cooper Drive between Tate's Creek and Nicholasville Road.
Cooper Drive between Tate Street and, I'm not
And
pushing.
Nicholasville Road.
Okay, what's around?
The UK area, the library, the hospital, or the youth library, the stadium.
Okay. And then 10,
That's a tower there at the Waller and, I'm sorry, that's Versailles Road and Forbes, the tower we talked about previously there behind the Thorns.
okay. And that's where 10, 11, and 12 all get there.
That's correct.
And I'm looking at it upside down, but is that all that falls on this particular one?
That is correct.
Okay.
This tower is actually going to be at Waller and the railroad tracks. I think I said it was on near the library. Okay. This is actually limestone here. So this one's between limestone and Harrodsburg Road. So at Waller and the railroad tracks there.
Okay. And what's near there?
Well, there's a shopping center there with, there's a Jimmy John's there, stuff like that.
Is St. Joe Hospital near there?
It is, it's at the intersection of Harrodsburg and Waller.
Okay. And then this tower is a little bit further down. with
It's
that wall.
towards Nicholasville Road down by the railroad track.
Okay. Okay. Your Honor, this time I would move to introduce into evidence Commonwealths 53 through 57 and ask, it's a little weird up there, public use of the jury at this time. May I publish use this time?
Yes.
Thank you. It's not showing on here, but maybe you can give a general direction. You had talked about the tower that was at Richmond Road behind the Bob Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, all right, and do you recognize, we talked about this map earlier.
That's correct.
Okay. And where, the tower is not represented on this map, is that correct?
That's correct.
What general direction would that tower be?
It would be this way, because this is New Circle Road, so it would come down. We don't even have Richmond Road, which would run here, and that tower would be here.
And did you also, just from cleanup yesterday, the videos that we watched?
I did.
Did you then put them on a disc?
I did. There were 3 angles from Danny Scott and 1 from Mary Holland's team.
Okay, no, on this. Is that the disc that you brought, that you put them on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. I think this would then be Commonwealth 58. And at this time, Judge, I would like to introduce the evidence, Commonwealth 58, the CD containing the video stream. All the questions I have of you right now, okay?
Thank you.
Start with the element.
Good morning.
I wanted to speak with you a little bit about the videos
Okay.
that we watched yesterday.
Sure.
So those videos were taken from the parking lot of the Austin City Saloon, right? Businesses in that parking lot?
Businesses in that area, yes.
Okay. And if I could approach Your Honor?
do a depiction of the parking lot of the Austin City Saloon and the Woodhill Shopping Plaza,
Very,
right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and put a copy up here for the jury as well. So, yesterday we viewed some videos from the Marianas Tienda.
Yes, ma'am.
They have 3 cameras. One is inside, and 2 show outside of that business.
Okay,
And the outside channels are channels 3 and channels 4.
okay,
And channel 4, I believe, is what we watched yesterday.
okay.
Right? So, from channel 4, this is the Marianas Tienda. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, from channel 4, you could see the parking lot this way.
That's correct.
So you can see like this portion of the parking lot sweeping up towards about here, right?
Well, I mean, you could see where this white truck is. You could also see that, and you can see all the way down here.
So you can see to the edge of the white truck.
Well,
I don't-
yeah, I mean,
I don't know that the cars depicted here are the same as they were
correct.
at night.
But you can also see, obviously, this area over here.
So you can see until about here where this corner cut it off, right?
That's correct.
And I think you could also see cars kind of peeking into view over here. Right? Okay. So that's what you could see from the video that we watched yesterday. That portion of the parking lot.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. There's also a camera that points the other direction, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And from that camera, it points more this direction, right?
I haven't reviewed that video in a while, but yes, that's my recollection. There's a second camera that goes out, kind of showing the other corner.
Okay. Now, we also, and I guess it's worth saying that these cameras are set up by these businesses for their own security.
That's correct.
Right, so to catch shoplifters, or if there's, for instance, something unfortunate that happens in their business, they maintain these videos for that purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And the same would be true of the Danny Scott Liquor Store, right? We watched some video from the Danny Scott Liquor Store yesterday,
Yes, ma'am.
and that video is focused on this business.
That's correct.
So we watched cars drive in from Woodhill, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we could see that they had cars turning this direction, right?
That's correct.
And that's because right here, there are actually yellow posts that force cars to make that right turn.
Okay.
Isn't that right?
I believe there are, yes.
Yeah. And you've been to this parking lot, right?
I have.
You were there that day. And so this area here is Woodhill Drive.
Yes, ma'am.
Gosh, if I write, it's going to be upside down to you guys. Let's see. So this area here is Woodhill Drive.
Yes, ma'am.
And over here is Codell, right? If you go through this area.
Yes, ma'am.
So cars can enter the parking lot from Woodhill Drive,
Uh-huh.
from Codell.
Yes, ma'am.
There's also, this is a Fortune's gas station
Yes, ma'am.
that has their entrance to their business.
Correct.
Once in the parking lot, cars can leave through Codell,
Yes, ma'am.
through Woodhill.
Yes, ma'am.
So we were reviewing video yesterday,
Yes, ma'am.
and you talked about the fact that I believe you helped us understand that the Mariana's Tienda video was off by 4 minutes.
That's correct.
And we knew that because when Detective Barber collected the video, he checked his watch to make sure, to have a baseline, basically.
Uh-huh.
Like if we were in a detective movie and we all synchronized our watches.
That's right.
So no one, the video from the Danny Scott liquor store, that wasn't collected by Detective Barber.
That's correct.
And to our knowledge, Brian Maxwell, the man who turned it over to you, we don't know whether he did that or not.
That's correct.
So yesterday, we viewed that video from the Danny Scott liquor,
Uh-huh.
and if I've got this right, I believe we saw Rhea Hudson's car the license plate you have to point out to us.
Thank you.
We saw that car leaving this drive-through at 1:18 in about 10 seconds. Does that seem right? Yeah, please. I know you have some notes.
Let me look at my times here. Yeah, that would be, because they showed a 1:17:32, that's the time I marked, so that'd be about 40 seconds later.
Then, so we talked about the fact that the Mariana's Tienda has a channel 3 that points this direction, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You said you hadn't reviewed that in a while?
That's correct.
Would it be all right if I play some of that
Sure.
video for you? Is this look like camera 3 from the Mariana's Tienda video you reviewed?
Yes, ma'am.
And the markings I have here, I'm not sure they're the same as what you had because I may be playing on a different program, but does that look, is that the same or is that different?
No, I believe we're playing on the same program.
Okay, great. So what I've called up here, what time does, it says that this video is 1:21 and 47 seconds?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, and you can see here there's a truck, maybe it's the second half of a row of parking, right?
Mhm.
There's more parking here, and it kind of goes on for a bit, right?
Looks like there's at least 3 rows. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, so I'm going to play a little bit of this video.
Okay.
And again, this is camera 3, so I don't think the jury's seen this angle before. And you can see that cars are, entering and leaving the parking lot, right?
Mhm.
I don't think I attended all the same training courses you did on how to work the video, so thank you for being patient with us. So this is, according to the Mariana's Tienda timestamp, 1/20/47.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is a silver car pulling through a row of the parking outside of the Mariana's Tienda.
Okay.
And this part of the parking lot is inside the same plaza, is inside the same parking lot as the Danny Scott liquor store.
Yes. It's in that general shopping area.
Yes. And that car pulls around the plaza towards the entrance from Woodhill, the exit to Hodel, those places, right?
Almost directly in front of Austin City.
Yes.
Yes.
So, now that we've seen some of camera 3, it shows, it kind of scoops around towards the Austin City and shows some parking spots, right?
That's correct.
That doesn't show, it may be in the daytime you could see all the way to the Austin City, but the selection we saw, you could not, right?
Yeah. That's correct. I don't know if you did it. We don't have any daytime video. I don't know.
Sure, sure. So, we watched some video yesterday where a silver car came into view over here,
That's correct.
and it proceeded down that way,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And that silver car came into view, you can help me with the time here, I believe it was 1:23:04 when you could see the car come into view.
What time did you say?
I said 1:23:04 because I'm using the time on the video.
Yep.
So if we've got a 4-minute discrepancy, that would be why, because I'm using the time on
I'm
the
using the
video,
video time.
and you're using Detective Barber's synchronized adjusted time.
I'm using the time of video too.
Okay.
So at 1:23:03, the vehicle starts around the building. So that's general. Yes, so it comes into frame at, I said 1:23:03. Did you say 1:23:04?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
We're
right on.
close. Okay, so around 1:23, we'll use 03.
Use
You
04.
can start seeing the car here.
That's correct.
Did you happen to write down the time when the car disappears down by the Insta sign?
I did not,
Okay,
but it's, just a few seconds after.
okay. So I think I caught it to be about 10 seconds.
I would agree with that.
So we can just maybe write 10 seconds here. Because that's about how long it took the car to go that portion
Out
of
of
the
view.
parking lot, out of view.
Okay.
Now, in the video we watched yesterday, we saw 2 people walk up from where the Insta sign is, right?
That's correct.
And that's 9 minutes later, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I think maybe it said 7, but I just wanted to make it clear that
Yeah, it's 9 minutes.
9 minutes, okay. So, we also had viewed some of that video from the Danny Scott liquor store, right?
Mhm.
They have cameras, you talked about, they have a lot of cameras. And the cameras show the drive-in like we saw.
That's correct.
There's also cameras that show a little more of the Woodhill and the entrance from Woodhill, right?
The other camera that we watched?
Yes,
Yes. The one that you've marked here in green pointing out this way?
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and more of that video as well.
Okay.
Now, I would move to admit the camera 3 from the Mariana's Tienda. I don't believe that was included in the Commonwealth exhibit.
That's exhibit.
If that's fine.
Or you introducing that in fire?
So looking at these file names here,
Uh-huh.
these are the file names that are from the Danny, that's the styling of the Danny Scott Liquor video, right?
Well, I mean, I would say that's the file name, similar file name, yes.
Yeah. And this is the camera that we saw some of yesterday that shows cars pulling in from Woodville, right?
That's correct.
So it also shows cars leaving the shopping plaza, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And again, here, we have a timestamp that is reading about 1:20, right?
Mhm.
And that would be based on the Danny Scott Liquor surveillance time logs, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And we're playing a little faster than normal, aren't we?
You are.
And there at 1:22:18 is a silver car leaving the Woodville Shopping Center, right?
I mean, it's a car, I don't know if I'd call it silver or not, maybe gold. I mean, to me, there's more of a yellowish tint to that vehicle. It also doesn't appear to have tinted windows.
Does it look more silver now?
I would say it's a light colored car.
Okay. So this is a different camera angle, right?
That's correct?
And I've paused it here at 1:22:21, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's around the same time we were looking at from the other camera angle, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And just so that our picture is complete, this camera angle shows some of the closet here, right?
That's, okay, we're not down all this. Yes, ma'am, it's that area there.
Okay, so we can, this is
Oh,
something,
you're on.
so this is something that's covered with this camera.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is a light colored car exiting the shopping plaza at 1:22.
Yes, ma'am, it looks like it doesn't have tinted windows.
Now, I'm going to bump us ahead a little bit. So that's another light colored or silver car.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And this one pulled from the other side of the parking lot into the drive-through here.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is at, you can see that I think my timestamp took a second to catch up to us here. This is at 1:25:59, you can see that it's still in the drive-through.
Okay. Well, is that the drive-through or is it the parking space? I don't know, it just,
It's on screen though.
oh, yes.
Now, I'd like us to look at a different camera angle. So this is back to that angle that shows the cars entering and leaving the Woodhill from
Yes, ma'am.
Woodhill Street. And so here at 127 at 5 is a silver car leaving the parking lot.
Like, yes, ma'am.
Okay? And there, at a few seconds later, this silver car also leaves the area.
Yes, ma'am. Another car leaving.
Okay. And these videos that we've watched together are the only videos that you obtained, right, and reviewed?
These are the only ones I've viewed.
Okay.
And I didn't obtain any videos.
Okay, isn't it the case that Detective or Officer Barber gave you a hard drive with video from Thornton's, a residence on Hannah Place, a residence on Ryan Circle?
You may have provided that to Detective Wolf.
So, we also have talked a bit about the cell towers that you plotted in
Yes,
this
ma'am.
case. So, if I could retrieve Commonwealth 57. Oh. Thank you.
And if you know, Lieutenant, is there a way to adjust the brightness on this machine? Maybe from your angle you can see it better than I can.
I don't see the brightness thing.
I think we're getting a little washed out.
We are. Try the iris and see what it does. Maybe we turn off the lights.
Okay, so we've got that, thank you.
You're welcome.
We've got this map that you made us showing calls from 2 to 3 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
And I wanted to specifically look at the call placed at 2:21 a.m. So I think it starts at number 5 there.
Right here.
Okay, so that tower, I think you told us, was on Man of War in Richmond.
Yes, ma'am.
And that call ends, that's the first tower
Uh-huh.
that call connects to. And the second tower is on Winchester Road near McDonald's. I guess it would be number 6 up there.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's, I said near McDonald's because that's kind of where I think of it. That's
How about-
where the breakout Lexington games are, maybe the American Brewery, things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You said that the records also contain the length of the call.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a 3-second call, right? Item 881.
Well, there was 20 seconds of it with the trying to connect to a tower, or trying to get to the seizure time was 20 seconds, so it'd be 23 total.
Okay, so the most number, the longest time possible between when that phone connected to the tower on Richmond and Manowar to when it connected to the tower by McDonald's is 23 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
And those towers, I mean, those are about 4 miles apart, right? Just the tower locations?
I don't have the distance, but I mean, there's some distance between them, yes.
Yeah, and they're both on Richmond Road, right?
One's off Winchester Road.
I guess what I mean is the quickest way to get between them would be to take Richmond Road.
You could be going around, you could be on New Circle, and but yes, that general area.
Yeah, and in that area, we're talking about streets with stoplights, right?
Yeah, there's stoplights.
Stop signs, other things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And there's also a tower on Richmond and New Circle.
That's
isn't
correct.
there? So, in addition to this tower here, there's a tower right around here. The phone, there's no record of the phone connected to that tower.
Once again, we get the first and the last. We don't get the towers in between, but yes, there's, on that call, there's no, or even between 2 and 3, there's no calls that go on that tower.
So on a 23-second call, it went from the tower here to the tower here.
There's some,
Jumping over the tower in the middle.
well, transferring from, but the start one was there, and the end one was the one you already pointed out, yes.
And the actual talking time of that call was only 3 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
The other 20 seconds was it waiting for someone to pick up the phone or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that tower at Richmond News Circle, there's a lot of businesses in that area, right? You know, Burger King, Sonic, Home Depot, a lot of things right there, right?
Yep. Home Depot's not open at 2 a.m., but there is a Home Depot in that area.
Sure. So, if we could look at Commonwealth Exhibit 54. I wanted to look at call number 3, the tower that serviced call number 3.
Okay.
So that's down near Niagara Drive, Niagara Drive.
Yes, ma'am.
And it ends at the tower by Below Woods, right?
Correct. 3 starts on this tower and ends on this tower.
And not just that, I wanted to also look at the antenna that it used.
Uh-huh.
So,
So the 3 is this antenna, and 4 is this antenna.
yes.
Okay.
Now, do you have the duration of this call? I believe,
107, correct?
yes, 107. I think this is item number,
It's a minute 24
so a minute and 24 seconds.
with 29 seconds of seizure time.
And those towers are about 1.5 miles apart,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? So I also wanted to look at something that's happening in Commonwealth number 57. Tower number 9,
Call number 9?
call number 9, which I think you described as being on Waller,
That's correct.
right? So there's a call that starts at that tower
Uh-huh.
and ends at call number 10, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it transfers from the tower at Waller to the tower on Versailles and Forbes.
Yes, ma'am.
The other 2 events coming through on Versailles and Forbes are text messages.
Yes.
Okay, and I think we heard yesterday that texts are handled differently than calls. So, in this call here that we're talking about, and these 2 towers, I guess, let's start here, they're maybe about 2 miles apart. I believe this is item 883.
Okay.
And so I think these towers are about 2 miles apart, does that sound right?
Looks about right as a crow would fly.
And, which is what's important, right, because the radio waves feed. Okay, and how long was this call?
It was 51 seconds.
51 seconds. And if I could have you look at item 886.
Okay.
You didn't plot this one for us,
I did not.
but I'm wondering if looking at it, you see the same towers are in play.
Yes, ma'am. It looks like it's also using those same 2 towers.
And this time, instead of going from the Waller Tower to the Forbes Road Tower, It started at the fourth row tower and went to the Waller Tower.
Yes, ma'am.
So it seems like those two towers must have a little bit of overlap, right? Because they're the two towers closest to each other.
I don't know if there's other towers in the area, I'd have to look at another map, but I mean, they're definitely, like you said, they're within 2 miles of each other.
Okay. And I wanted to go back to some of these calls from 11 to midnight. Let's look at the call that takes place at 11:41. So it looks like that starts call number 20, or item number 20.
Yes, ma'am.
So it started on this tower here, which I think you said was on Enterprise Drive. Am I right?
Yeah, I said Enterprise, the one, New Circle and Old Frankfurt, you're going outbound there on the left. Clark Forklifts is there and stuff.
Okay. So this call started on this tower,
That's correct.
and it ended up being finished on the tower on Versailles and Village Drive, right?
With the antenna pointing back that way, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it went from this tower to this tower? The duration of that call?
There was 0, it was 28 seconds of seizure time attempting to connect.
So no one even talked,
That's, according to this, there was 0 time of talk.
but in 28 seconds it transferred from one tower to the other
Yes, ma'am.
before anybody even picked up the phone.
Yes.
And I just wanted to make something clear for the jury.
Okay.
If you look at the calls we were just talking about, calls 20 and 21, when you drew these circles, they overlapped a lot, right? These shaded areas. There's a lot of area that's shaded for both the calls.
I mean, I made these consistent everywhere, as you can see, and I mean, so those were just an arbitrary size that I chose,
Yeah, so you just picked a size and went with
just to
it.
show the direction of the antenna.
Okay. On Commonwealth 55 though, the circles are actually different sizes, right?
It should be very close to the same size.
But again, that's just, you
It's
picked a circle.
correct, because I don't know how far the antenna is displaying, so
Yeah, because AT&T didn't tell us that.
they will not.
And so these circles are,
They're a graphical representation to show the direction of the antenna, not a coverage area.
okay. All of these maps are for the cell phone number 859-684-5161.
Yes, ma'am.
None of them are for 859-552-7517, right?
They are not. I don't believe there's any phone activity on that date, to my knowledge.
We saw a car coming down the aisle, right?
Mhm.
And I believe that it was at 1:20:25.
Okay.
And that car came down and went out that way, right?
Went down the front part of the shopping center.
So we saw it come down the parking lot and go this way.
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time I would need to introduce Defense Exhibit 6. And Your Honor, also Defense Exhibit 7, the additional video from the Danny Scott.
Okay.
Thank you.
25, so it looks like it went from the tower that's Manor and Richmond Road, so kind of across the Hooters.
Let me see if I have a tower list, if you don't mind. I'm sorry, the record again is 185?
185.
Okay. Richmond and Man of War.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
And then to the one, underneath Richmond and.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And could you tell me how long that call was?
That call was 10 seconds of talk time and 16 seconds of seizure time and 10 seconds of talk.
So 26?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it went from, I guess, between Manor and Richmond and New Circle and Richmond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then number 305, that's on Captain.
So, the order trains Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay, so this one went from the same two towers, correct?
305?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long was that for?
29 seconds of talk time, 17 seconds of seizure time.
Okay, less than a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the one right below it,
306?
yes, went from the tower out by Colombo
Colombo and Todd's Road?
and that same one on New Circle and Richmond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how long?
That was 1 second of talk and 14 seconds of seizure.
And then those were back to back, right, those two calls?
They are.
And so instead of connecting to the tower that's the last, so it ended on this tower on the last call, it connected here first.
Mhm.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then one more, number 839, blue.
Okay.
Um,
Single tower?
Yes. That is June 20th at 10 p.m., correct?
That's correct.
And the tower is up by, on the east and going way, but Winchester, New Circle.
That's correct.
Correct, okay. And so if you could kind of, I don't know if you can see it real close, but the other tower we can talk about would be down here, correct?
That's correct.
And this is kind of where the Austin City area is.
That's in this area.
Okay. All right. Now I want you to look through that for me a little bit, and could you tell me that first tab on June 15th?
Okay.
Okay. Can you tell me how many highlighted lines there are on that page and the following page?
Someone has highlighted 5 lines on this.
Okay, and so just look at the coordinates of the first one. That is the tower that is New Circle and Richmond Road, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So you said about 5 times.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on June 15th, it pinged at least 5 times.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you can go to the 16th
Okay.
and do the same with that. Just tell me how many times it's highlighted, and you can double check the towers.
Looks like 5 times on the 16th.
Okay. And the time frames for that, those pings, is it less than an hour?
It is.
Okay, so it hit 5 times in less than an hour on June 16th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? And you go 17. Again, how many highlighted lines on that one and the next page?
Well, this one, you've highlighted the 16th at 11:33.
There.
So,
Ignore that one.
okay. So count the other ones?
Yes.
9 on those 2 pages.
Okay. So at least 9 times on June 17th.
Yes, ma'am. You highlighted 7,
So those were all same tower, but June 16th, or sorry, June 18th.
18th, yes ma'am.
Okay.
You highlighted 4 on the 19th.
So at least 4 times on June 19th. And this is just one page out of multiple pages from that date, correct? It doesn't generally.
That's correct.
Just one page, okay. You said 4 times,
Yes ma'am.
okay, on the 19th, we can go to the 20th.
Looks like you've got 5 highlighted.
And that's from at least 5 times on June 20th,
Yes ma'am.
and then June 21st.
Looks like you have 7.
And that's at least 7 times on the June 21st date, correct?
Correct?
So this phone hit that tower multiple times a day during that week.
Correct.
Okay. That we go to C. It's, and you don't know who was actually holding that phone that day, do you?
I do not.
And Judge, we would move to introduce the power plots all collectively as D. That's all questions I have.
Just a little bit. Lieutenant Richardson, that second camera angle that the defense showed, that camera 3,
Yes ma'am.
does it show the murder and robbery of Megan and Jonathan on that? at all?
It does not.
You were also asked, kind of in that first clip, about a time of 1:20:47 that would have been on the Marion attendance time clock.
Okay.
Okay. Is that the same time that would be on the Danny Scott Liquor video?
No.
Okay. So and is there a 4-minute difference then?
There is.
All right. So at 1:20:47, what time would that be on the Danny Scott Liquor time?
Those events correct.